Hey, what up, y'all? It's Young Rick with Westside Level. Thank you for tuning in today. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me at the best mixing podcast in the world, where your mixing and mastering dreams come true. And today we got a very special technique today. We're finna get into some clean up EQ. Now, before we get into it, let's review where we're at. We've done our gain staging, we've done our leveling, we froze our tracks, muted all of our plugins, so we have a clean session with all of our processed vocals. And then we assign those processed vocals. So just to review, these are all of our lead vocals right here. They're being assigned to insert 8, this purple one. These are all of our background and ad-libs. They're being inserted to insert 9. This beat is right where it's at, so I'm going to play our session, and then that'll make sense of more so how it's going to go. So we're going to focus our attention on this purple section of the mix.
Break on them keys and them kick. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick house. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick drop a beat up in the shit toss.
So the first thing I want to do when I'm getting in the cleanup EQ is I'm going to go ahead and mute these background vocals. That way they don't distract us. We just hear the lead vocals balanced against the beat. So when I'm bringing up this EQ on my lead vocal, the first move I want to make is I want to bring some clarity to the vocal. We can bring clarity by boosting some of the higher tones, the more audible tones that aren't around the lower range of the spectrum of the vocal. I'm going to bring clarity to the vocal by starting off with a high shelf boost. So now I'm picking high shelf. We're going to press play.
Break on them keys and them kick. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy.
All right, so I'm going to use this little headphone button so we just monitor the frequencies that we're looking for and we're searching for right now. And remember, we're searching for clarity. I'm 0 to all the way around 900. Those are going to be more so of my bass and subtones, so I'm not going to get much clarity out of that. So I'm going to start fishing around 1,000, and then I'm going to go up from there. So we're starting at 1,000.
Break on them keys and them kick. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick house. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick drop a beat up in this shit. Break on them keys and them kick. Don't throw that pass.
All right, so after going fishing around for a second, I chose around 2,000 hertz for our frequency to boost our clarity. Why 2,000 hertz? Because when I was fishing around 1,000 hertz, it did give us some clarity, but I noticed when I had it that low, it was a little harsh. More when I moved it up to 2,000 hertz, it began to get smoother. And 2,000 hertz isn't a special number. For different vocals, it's going to be different numbers. You might be dealing, for this vocal in specific, Hot Boy Ron's vocal, we're dealing with a low male vocal. But you might be dealing with a high male vocal. You might be dealing with a female, high female vocal, or a low female vocal. And that's why you have to go fishing around. Never just think one frequency is the special frequency. But yeah, it did, for this vocal right here, it did smooth out around 2,000 hertz. So now that we have our high shelf frequency picked out, let me show you how gangsta I get with it. We're going to now turn this high shelf into a low shelf. And instead of boosting, we're going to now cut. And this will be our clarity boost. So now, just to give you a reference on how that sounds, we're going to bypass our cut, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on the EQ so we can see it even a little bit more. But yeah, we're going to A-B our effect. So here's without.
Break on them keys and them kick. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick house. I'm in this Benz.
Here's with our cut.
Break on them keys and them kick. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick house. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed.
All right, so now we're getting somewhere. We can see that his voice got a little bit more audible. We got a little bit of that bass, the bass in a vocal is still good, but we got it to just sit a little bit lower under. We want more of that clarity in his vocal. So that's good. So now what else can we do to clean up our vocal? Well, vocals, especially this one, because it was recorded in a small room, are often going to have room tones. So how can we search for room tones? One technique that I like to use searching for room tones is I go ahead and do a bell filter. That's a low shelf. I turn it into a bell. I give it a high Q, and then I boost. And when I boost, what I'm listening for, because you have to be listening for something. We don't just want to boost and then just say, oh, that sounds bad, I'm going to take it out. Oh, that sounds bad, I'm going to take it out. The reason why we don't want to do that is because when you boost with a high Q, anything can sound bad. What we want to do instead is go into the vocal knowing what we want to remove, and that's room tone. What sound are we looking when we're looking for this room tone? Well, we're going to try to make Hot Boy Ron's voice sound like a closet. So let's get into it. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about with this first resonant that we're looking for, this first resonant room tone.
Rick on the keys and the kick. Don't throw that. I'm in his beans acting up. I know they pissed off. I told Rick drop a beat. I'm finna shit. Rick on the keys and the kick. Don't throw that pass. It's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick course.
All right, so you'll notice that at that frequency I just picked, when I raise the Q and on that frequency, his voice starts to make him sound like he's in a closet. We want to remove that because that's going to help our vocal sound more clear and normal. Let's go ahead and do that. And we're gonna knock it down by 3 decimals, 3 dB. And while we're removing these Qs, I'm gonna actually zoom out on the EQ. All right, so
Rick on the keys and the kick.
Let's go looking for another one.
Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick course. Pissed off. I told Rick drop a beat. I'm finna shit. Rick on the keys and the kick. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off.
Okay, we found one. Let's go for another one. And that's the name of the game. We're going to keep looking for these room tones. This is what separates the boys from the men. We're taking our time. We're looking for every room tone we could possibly get until there's no more left.
Ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick course. I'm in his beans acting up. I know they pissed off. I told Rick drop a beat. I'm finna shit. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop at this resonance right here. And the reason why I'm not going to cut this resonant right here, this tone right here, is because it doesn't sound like his voice is in a closet anymore. It does sound bad when I boost it, and that's what I was talking about earlier. But it wasn't it's not the specific tone that we were looking for to remove. So we're going to keep that in because everything sounds bad when it's boosted at a high Q. So keep that in mind. All right, so now that we've done all of our cleanup EQ, this is a step that a lot of people forget, but we might have lost some level from doing all of these cuts. So we do want to gain stage and get our level back exactly the same before we do our final AB. So let's bypass our effect and see where it was peaking at. All right, so we see that right when he said I told Rick, that his voice peaked at around 18 decimals. So that's what we're going to shoot for with the EQ engaged. So now I do have now I have both the bypass, now I have the vocal without the effect and with the effect both level match. So now that everything's level matched, let's go ahead and do AB, bypass with the effect and without. So this is without our cleanup EQ.
It's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick course. I'm in his beans acting up. I know they pissed off. I told Rick drop a beat. I'm finna shit talk. Big dog. Don't throw that pass. It's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick course. I'm in his beans acting up. I know they pissed off. I told Rick drop a beat.
This is with our cleanup EQ.
kit. Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick horse. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick, drop a beat, I'm finna shit talk. Big dog, don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick horse. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick, drop a beat.
All right, and then there's one last thing I want to show you. And the last thing I want to do is start to attack some of the harsh S's and the harsh T's that he might punch out on. His vocal might punch out on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by trying to identify where he's the frequency where he's having the most S's and T's at. All right, so it looks to me that his S's is punching and poking out at around 6,000 hertz. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using an EQ, I'm going to go ahead and bring up a de-esser. All right, and then I'm going to set my de-esser to 6,300 hertz. And then I'm just going to bring our threshold down till it's knocking around 3 decimals. Knocking down around 3 decimals of gain reduction.
Rick on them keys and them kicks. Don't throw that pass.
I'm sorry. All right, so now that I got my de-esser knocking around 3 decimals, knocking down around 3 decimals of gain reduction, I would say that I have our vocal all cleaned up. Now, just to give us a final A and B, I'm going to mute all of our effects, and we're going to hear how the lead vocal sounds without our cleanup EQ and with our cleanup EQ. So this is without.
Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick horse. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick, drop a beat, I'm finished.
This is with.
Don't throw that pass, it's getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick horse. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick, drop a beat.
And then I'm gonna play it back and forth so you can hear the effect punched in and out.
Pass is getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick horse. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick, drop a beat, I'm finna shit talk. Big dog, don't throw that pass, is getting picked off. I ain't tryna buy a deuce with the brick horse. I'm in this Benz acting up, I know they pissed off. I told Rick, drop a beat, I'm finna shit talk.
And that's our effect. Just like that, we have cleaned up EQ. We have EQ'd our vocal and gave it some cleanup EQ. Now we can go into compression, saturation, and color EQ a lot more confident, right? So if this video made you a lot more confident in your mixing skills, if you want to become an advanced mixing engineer, and if you like what I do, go ahead and give me a like, give me a subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Y'all niggas be smooth. FWT, gone.